Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, John and Nez, and a very, very special guest, a guy long overdue to be on the program, one of the OG members of the community here. You guys know him, love him as Best Ball Viper there. He's hanging out behind the curtain here. We are going to give him his introduction into the Dawg Bowl, the winner's circle there for the Dawg Bowl. Man, we did our thing. We did our thing again this week, Nez, where the Deposit Kingdom, man, it's evergreen at this point. Scooping 3 seats for the Dawg Bowl. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it was time to, reclaim the crown. I think last week there was no Deposit Kingdom members, or maybe the week before that.
Yeah, one of the two. There was only 1 week where it's happened, but yeah.
Yeah, so, the Discord taking back their rightful crown. Man, those burrow stacks. If only there was like somebody that could have told me to do more of those burrow stacks, I probably would have like had a lot more. If somebody that that does content that
that you respect, that you enjoy.
That's the problem. I don't respect myself. That's the problem.
Yeah, so Des and I were talking yesterday in the middle of the day there, and I was saying that Chase was my highest exposed flex player that wasn't Trey McBride. That's another story there. But I was saying that Chase is my highest, and I was like, but Nez, you said Burrow or Burrow doubles would definitively take down a Dawg Bowl seat. You kept saying Burrow would be in the winning one. You said it on Wednesday's show. You said it on Friday's show. So I was expecting to see your name up at the top there. I was expecting you to have followed through with it, but you don't listen to yourself, my friend.
No, I was too obsessed with the running back cliff that I was seeing.
Okay.
And thinking that I had to have Ken Walker over Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And so, the results are what they were. And that was unfortunate, man. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about my play. But yeah, very funny. Just very, very funny. I mean, I meant it. I wasn't like trying to like do the old dipsy do on people. I really did believe that. I mean, and then after that show, Burrow then became like a staple in the 4th round. So I don't want to get too big of a head here, but I think we're to the point now, John, when our shows are actually starting to affect the lobbies. That was kind of like a wake-up call.
Many are calling us the ETR of Underdog.
Are they?
No, just us. Oh man. All right, Desi, let's do this winner circle thing because I'm really excited for this, man. This guy's OG. He has been nothing but gracious to us. He has informed us that he's watched almost every single show that we have ever had. He was one of the first people ever to tweet at us some merch out in the wild. Yeah. Him and his buddy Asset were wearing some merch out in New York there. Mad respect for this cat. He is a multi-sport draftly, jumped in the puck streets in a big way last year. I mean, he was gracious enough to send me a message after my wedding to just say like, yo, mad love, mad respect. This guy has been nothing but gracious to us, and I can't wait to meet him in person here. Nez, who's going to do the circle? Who's doing the circle? Who's the guy?
I think it's me. It's me.
Can you do it all on your own?
Yeah, I'm going to do it so fast it's going to make your head spin.
All right. Well, you tell me when, because I got some special requested theme to go adjacent to the winner's circle today. All right.
I think you should just like start playing it right now.
Okay, I'll start.
Let it rock for a second.
There it is. Best Ball Viper, our guy, man. Congratulations on the Dawg Bowl seat. Welcome to the winner's circle, my friend. Inform us. Who was that on the vocals there?
That's me on the vocals.
Love it, bro.
That's a song that I wrote, and it was actually on a show called that was a Homicide. No, that song was on Oz which was like the
okay,
first,
yeah.
which is like the first HBO. Like
Yeah.
there would be no Wire without Oz. It was the same. Yeah. It was the same people, and I'm actually writing TV and film now. So
amazing,
and
dude.
Going back to the recording studio also. So.
So this isn't your Underdog drafting is not your full-time gig. Okay.
Well now it is. Well now it is because I had a dog I had a dog training business that I quit just to do this.
Wow.
It's actually a pretty lucrative job in New York. I've had so many fucking lives, but you know I'm like twice your guys' age, but I love this and I love you guys. I'm always telling Asset how much. And I just love this. I love best ball life. I just love it.
It's the best.
Dude, mad respect, man. Mad respect. Yeah, let's talk about your journey. Let's talk about it associated with Underdog at first here. So when did you start drafting on the platform? When did you move sports? Where was your favorite sport? Kind of like just walk me through it from the jump.
I mean, I ran. This is like, it's going to age me, but it's really a good story. Okay. I ran a very high stakes fantasy league that before the internet, when the USA Today was the internet, when the guys from ESPN were in the league. And then one day this guy came up to me and said that one of the guys in the league, one of the members of the league, he just whispered in my ear. It was the most fucking, and his friend, I had no idea who he was. Yeah. He goes, you've got $30,000 in cash in that attaché case. And there's somebody across the street that's waiting for you. And he wasn't kidding. So I stopped doing the cash league because someone was going to fucking kill me for it.
Oh my goodness, no doubt, man. Well, hey,
I'm telling
thankfully, Underdog's a safe place to play here. We don't have to deal with the cash in the briefcase.
And this is in the 80s when it was $1,500 a team. That was a lot of money. It's a lot of money now, but then it was like incredible. And I would have to I don't know. Do you guys even know what an answering machine is?
Yes.
We do. We have some younger members of the audience, but we certainly do.
We had a thick rule book. I could send it to you. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, so many rules because you had to, because people were crazy, and I would have to figure out all the scores with a pencil from the USA Today, and then on Thursday from 3 to 5, I would give the results.
Oh,
and I would say that's how long. There was no Thursday Night Football. That's how long it took. I loved it so much, though, and I mean, that's why like doing this is a dream. Because the draft was the best day of the year. Now I'm drafting all the time.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So when you would tally up the results and stuff like that, would you then call everyone, leave a message for them? Okay, this is the new standings. This is the new, this is how your team performed kind of deal?
No, they would have to call my answering machine on Thursdays between 3 to 5. I would make a Chris Berman announcement.
Oh, that's very cool.
And all that. And, I mean, first place was $20,000. It
wow.
was at that time, but I didn't want to die from it. And so I had to hire a bodyguard, which was fucking insane. Who needs that?
Oh, dude, no, nobody needs that. That is an OG one there. T-Box hanging out in the chat saying you guys are cut from the same cloth here playing these leagues back in the day. That is that's so good, man.
Well, T-Box is getting free golf trips, and I'm getting I got this T-shirt.
There you go.
From a long time ago.
I think this is the start of something special for your brand, Viper. I think this appearance is really good for you. You, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You had a YouTube channel at one point, right? Like weren't you kind of taking an attempt at the content stuff?
I did, but then my ex-girlfriend, she might even be watching. She did such a good job editing. And,
oh wow!
And we kind of separated, and I was like, it was a lot of work for her,
Oh yeah.
But I tried it, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to do this.
It's a lot of work. I don't think people realize.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like
lot
a
of
good
work.
job.
And I had to go all the way to Bushwick every time, and I really loved it, but it was like, I think that was like during BBM 1 or 2. It was like,
Okay.
and Hayden sent me this shirt. This is like the original shirt, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I want more swag. That's my whole point. But
I think they'll have you. I think they'll have you all doused up at the Dawg Bowl here. I think you'll get your fair share of swag if memory serves.
Well, I mean, honestly, the first thing I thought when I won was I'd get to meet you guys.
Oh yeah.
Like
Wow.
that was literally like I was like, oh my God, this is so great. And all the other, I mean, maybe Josh and Hayden will be there too.
Yeah, I mean, if it's the same as last year, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Pete, Josh, Hayden, all that crew. I imagine that's
awesome.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be the same vibe as last year. To be honest, I don't definitively know. Right now, we're kind of in the dark on some of the details as to things. Like we were a little more hands-on last year, but I imagine we're going to find out, as we get closer there. It was about week 8-ish last year that we found out, kind of thing.
Well, I'm gonna possibly arrange a meeting with the guy who started this thing, because I've been writing a TV show where best ball characters, I mean, like you fucking jambronis, are the main characters.
Oh, very cool. Kind of like the league back in the day on FX.
Yeah, right. But this is different because this is a whole nother level. Like this,
it.
Like we're sickos.
We truly are.
I turn on that machine and Nez is on in every draft I've ever in.
I see you a lot, man. I see you a lot. We're like frenemies in these lobbies, man.
No, man. Friday nights are the best thing. Also because I think I drafted that team in the spillover draft.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, let's.
And if you remember, I'm the first one to take down an MLB live on your show.
That's right.
Yes, that is. Yeah, that is true. Even before we couldn't even do it.
No, you guys got me into baseball. I was never into baseball.
Really?
Yep. I was just like, I would just watch your show, and I was like, when I was a little kid, I loved baseball.
Yeah.
I used to study the baseball encyclopedia, and but I left baseball for like 2 decades, and now I'm back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, I always thought you were really good at baseball, so I thought you were like a through and through guy. Like I thought you were OG baseball. Yeah.
You two guys taught me how to draft baseball. I would have never.
Wow.
Like, there's no doubt. And hockey. I can't.
We taught you too fucking well, apparently.
Yeah. No, I just love. I mean, I just love it. Maybe NBA this year. We'll see.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about that today. NBA starts in 2 weeks here. Actually, a couple good segues and plugs there. Tomorrow, Multisport Drafthlete show. We are going to push the definitive preview to Wednesday. Nez has got some personal stuff, so I'm going to run a solo. I'm going to do it for the members only tomorrow. We got the first night of puck starting, and we got postseason baseball, 2-game slate there of the AL. So I'll do both of those multisport ones tomorrow behind the paywall there. Yeah, GA alluding to the puck model. Unfortunately, the puck model, Nez will have to send me the inputs. They'll have to send me the inputs there because he's not going to be with us tomorrow. And then Wednesday we'll do
the outputs. You get the results. You don't get the inputs.
Sorry,
you get the results.
My bad. There's so much talk about these Devo Samuel inputs that I got the jargon all mixed up in my head there. Yeah, anyways, little side one to that. Okay, best ball Viper, before we go into the lineup and all this sort of stuff, I think there's so much cool stuff that I want to learn still about you, man. I got to hear about the best ball Viper name and the ink on the arms there, and then I want to hear a little bit about the music stuff too, because we kind of glossed over that after you led with the music. So maybe let's start with the origins of best ball Viper, and let's start with the origins of the tattoos on your arms there.
Well, I mean, the reason I'm a pretty simple person, I guess. This is I spent some time in Africa.
Cool.
Following the last pack of African wild dogs. They're not related to domestic dogs. That's the pack I followed. And this is a West African bush viper, which I think are the most beautiful animals in the world. They come in like pink and red and green, and this is a green one. And my tattoo artist couldn't work. We were. I mean, I don't know if you know, but like New York was completely shut down during COVID. Like it was. I had morgue ice trucks at the end of my block, and so he couldn't work. So he just did all this shit during COVID. I mean, so much.
Wow.
Like the detail. He's a maniac. If you're ever in Brooklyn, it's Czarline Studios. But like he used to be Russian Special Forces.
Wow.
And he learned how to tattoo in the fucking gulag, dude.
Winter Soldier out here.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
he's no joke, and like really good at what he does.
I can't
Well, yeah, I
believe
can
we had
tell.
those since 2020. I thought you would have been like rocking those for. Wow, that's even cooler.
Some of these are older, some of these are new, but
Gotcha.
They're. I mean, this one was done by another guy who's kind of famous. It's like, I don't want to talk about myself, but anyway,
names we want, but this is why you're here. This is your moment. This is all about you.
This motherfucker's so humble and so brilliant. The one who did this one, that it has like, I mean, it's hard to say because it's hard to. There are like 4 or 5 hands, and each finger has a ring. Each ring is completely different. If you put a magnifying glass on it, you could see how different and beautiful the ring. This guy, I mean, there are artists in the world that never get famous that are just like, we're so lucky to have them,
Right.
They're just like humble workers. It's not like sports or music. It's like, well, in music too, but yeah, I've had so many weird lives. I used to be in finance. I used to do insurance for Lloyd's of London.
Okay.
And like I did, I handled the Rolling. I brought the Rolling Stones account in at 22 years old from Canada. The guy who ran this guy Michael Cole, who used to run strip clubs. He got the Rolling Stones and I was the youngest person promoted in the history of the 175-year-old company, and I quit that day. I quit that day to go back to my band, and I never looked back.
I mean, you're not lying when you've lived 100 lives here. This is very, very cool stuff here. Let's talk about the music thing for a second. So you said that song that we were listening to there was from Oz. So is that like your main gig now? You're doing the Underdog thing, but you're doing some of this music stuff and doing some stuff associated with shows, or what's up with that?
I haven't played music in years because I got sober, to be honest, and my friends were dying, and it just wasn't fun anymore. People were overdosing of all these fucking, heroin and other kind of drugs, and but we're going back now. Most of us are sober. I was a little sad hearing the song because the drummer, who was made of concrete, like one of those guys that's made of like concrete. You just never think they're gonna die. He just died. Cancer just took him.
Damn.
And
awful,
it was just but we are going back and doing music. But I was a gallery painter too for a decade.
Oh my God, dude! What haven't you done?
I mean, what I haven't done is I haven't gotten married. I haven't had kids. I haven't done any of the stuff that everybody seems to like.
Yeah, the traditional stuff.
Yeah, but that's okay. I meet women for coffee now, and I tell her, I played best ball for a living now, and they just look at me like, "What are you, 12?" And I'm like, "No, it's a great life."
It is a great life. Keep preaching that it's a great life, because it is a lot of fun out here. It's really good in the streets, and you're really good at it, man, because you've had some success across multiple sports here. Let's talk more about the best ball stuff. Then what year did you kind of like dive into this like head first kind of thing and start playing like kind of full time on the platform, or start taking it really seriously?
Somewhere between right after BBM 1, between BBM 1 and BBM 2, when they were still owned by DraftKings, I think. Not DraftKings.
When they had the original FanDuel stuff, so on Draft.
But right after that, I think. I'm not even really sure, But I know I had a team in the BBM2 finals.
Oh wow, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I was always like at the bottom. But
But you found your calling in, you found your calling in the daily stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So so like, what was that a natural transition for you? Like once basketball season was over, you just started playing the daily stuff, or what was the vibe there?
Yeah, I mean, you feed a sicko a fucking, some chocolate mousse. They want chocolate mousse every day. It's really that simple. It wasn't like I sat and thought about it. I'm like, like, but I mean, you saw when I went down. When I went down to Antigua and I couldn't draft. I was like, drafting conch shells on the beach. I was like, that's not a vacation. I was there for a fucking month. I couldn't draft. I had to like watch asset draft from remote. Like that was the best I could do.
I could sympathize with the draft origin stuff like that, because we used to have the two drafts all the time. One was the cookie draft, and one was the breadsticks draft when we'd order pizza. And you would always go snake draft, and whoever you're sharing the cookies that are fresh out the oven, or you're sharing the breadsticks or whatever, you'd always draft them. So I can empathize with drafting in real life scenarios, man. We all got that itch. I'm gonna bring up the lineup here. Actually, I got the SoundCloud pulled up still there. So if you guys want to check it out, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat here, because man, those were some good jams. I started clicking through a bunch of them. I think my favorite of the bunch was the one in which you suggested to use there, because it sounded a little Dallas themed. The first one there, Bottles, Knives, and Steel. But I'm going to drop that in the chat for people to check out some of your music, because it's legit good, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Put that in there. Here is the lineup here. Shout out to Drab, who's got his second seat there. Shout out to Lukey Big Shots, who is a base of Mount Rushmore guy who has had some really good success in the MLB streets this year. I imagine when he was ducking and dodging me in the Discord to come on, it's because he wanted to draft the 2-game baseball slate right now instead of talk to us.
Me too.
He's that sick with it. But right here, Best Ball Viper, man, 3, 4, 5. This is not the first time in which we have seen you get exploitative with a strategy at the top of the leaderboard. Let's talk through it, man.
I mean, okay, I'm trying to see it. I can see it.
I can read it off for you. I got you.
No, I got it. I can see it.
Okay.
I can see it.
Yep.
Well, Joe Burrow, I mean, there was, no Burrow, no cash, right? I mean, and yes, Nez, you were making mention of that. There's no doubt about it.
Might have said it. Might have called it. Might have called it. Can't remember.
I mean, you actually, what you actually said was even more important than that. You were like, are we sure that we're going to let Joe Burrow go in the 6th round?
And I think you actually had the other two lineups, I think, had Joe Burrow in the 50s. I think yours was actually pick 64, if I recall.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, John, if you expand his Joe Burrow pick.
Yeah, we'll do. Pick 69. Lucky pick 69, Joe Burrow.
I mean,
that's the last round.
Third to last.
So that one must have been done earlier then. It must have been.
Before the show, clearly.
Yeah. So maybe I was wrong. But Robinson was an iffy one for me. But ETR had him so high compared to everyone else. And I kind of just believed that. I think those guys like get some inside information or something, because they seem to know who's going to play. And they stick with it throughout the week.
Pretty good. They're pretty good about that.
They are. And I'm Trey Sermon. I just felt like, no Taylor. I mean, just that simple.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And I think Brian Thomas is going to fucking just explode this year.
Yep.
I think he's about to just go like
kind of already has a little bit,
Yeah, but I think he's going to be top 5 by the end of the year.
Yeah, people just not giving him enough respect, right? I mean, like this week, even like it was a great spot and no Ingram, and people were still, letting him, be paired with Jamar Chase like you did, and everyone kind of knew he was in a great spot.
I mean, no doubt. And there was a lot of talk about Bowers too, where they were saying, oh, he needs to stay in and chip block, and he's not going to go out for passes this week. And I was like, then who are they going to throw it to? I mean, you don't keep that guy in as a blocker, because the other tight end was out, and
no Adams.
You're right, but I got to tell you, man, Kittle and I always forget this guy's name, the Green Bay tight end, the second Kraft. They almost ended my day.
Oh yeah, they were flirting with it.
Dude, if Kittle didn't drop that last pass, I mean, I probably would have been in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Oh, jeez, that would have been Heartbreak City.
Yeah,
that would have been the Dave all over again.
Yeah, it was actually deflected, and that was the most insane elite sweat. I'm decimal points. You guys know.
So you crushed the slate, man. I mean, it's not like you duped yourself either. Like, these are 3 unique lineups that you have on the dog. Like, you almost swept you almost took every seat. You would have been retired from entering Dawg Bowls after
that would have been so cool.
Yeah.
I only did 35.
No shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, when you find yourself on the best plays, and the best plays are in fact the best plays, you nail it like that. Out of those 35, how many Joe Burrow and Chase and kind of like double stacks of that game environment were you playing?
I'd say about 8 or 9.
Oh wow, well done, very well done. Isolate the spot that you wanted to get, and then go ham at it.
I had a lot of Murray and Harrison and McBride.
Yeah, same.
That didn't really work out too well.
No, it did not. I'm walking proof of that one there. Oh, that's beautiful though. Best Ball Viper, so proud of you, man. Big congrats there for the audio listeners. Rundown. His lineup right there was a Joe Burrow single stack. He didn't need the T. Higgins in there because he got Brian Thomas in there. So it was Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase, but the Joe Burrow was in the 6th round. Brian Robinson Jr. there, Trey Sermon, Brock Bowers, and Brian Thomas. Beautifully well-constructed, cromulent lineup, my friend.
I mean, I love you guys. So whatever you say is like pure joy for me right now.
Man, much respect. Appreciate that so much. Any parting words for the people? We don't want to take up your whole day, man. It's almost been half an hour there. Actually, if you want, I'd be remiss. I just kind of throwing this one off the cuff. You've had a very nice baseball season. If we just ripped maybe like one baseball draft real quick together.
I would love that. My rankings are up. And
oh baby, here we go. All right, for the people
behind the curtain, you don't have to completely give us these ranks. I mean, you're a baseball crusher as well, but this will be fun.
Let me make sure that
I'm going to go on Safari to draft baseball, so I don't.
Safari guy, not a Chrome guy. That's maybe that's part of the edge.
Guys, I might have lied. I might have just locked on us. No? There it is. There we go.
I was going to say.
I
think it's close, right?
Because it was 60% before we.
Yeah, we're good. It's about 80% now by the looks of it.
Okay, so do you want me to go into the lobby, or do you want me to just draft with you guys?
Oh no! I need the.
He needs your help.
I need your help.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
Oh, we got another hour. Okay, still we got another hour.
But it's not the fill, man. That's crazy. 30K.
Dude, what's the percentage? I'm gonna be so upset. What's the percentage?
77. It's almost at 80.
Okay. We're okay.
Yeah, we'll get you there in time to get it.
I won't go in yet. Okay.
All right.
Oh, we got first.
Yeah, we got the influencer Best Ball Viper.
Wait, you guys are asking me to draft for you guys? This is so
great.
Yeah. That's what you meant. Okay. If it were me, I'd be taking Tariq.
Okay, so we're on the Scooble train today.
Yeah, and
right.
I would. Then
that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it's been going.
It is tough, man, because like Scoobball's like the points you can like kind of bank with him are so nice, and with Judge, you're almost always left with Matthew Boyd, and that doesn't feel super great.
It's a very shady. you either got to have one thing or another. I'm sure there's a couple of like all-star teams that got through if there were some newcomers in there, but so we just don't take Cleveland people.
Sounds good. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, for everybody who is just catching up to speed, we're just going to do the one MLB draft, and then we will do the Primetime Palooza, walk through that one. But it is a 30K prize pool with 6K to first today. 77% full here. It locks in about an hour and a half there. It's a 2-game slate, AL only. Tariq Skubal goes 1-0-1 to us. Let me rattle off the board here. Judge Soto, Bobby Witt, then Jose Ramirez. What do you guys want to set up here?
We can do a Yankee stack, right?
Yeah, absolutely can. How do you want to start it?
Yeah, if it were me, I wouldn't even do the Yankee stack yet. I would do Stanton and Green. I have a feeling about Green today.
I like it. This is you, so that's exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I like Green a lot today. With Boyd, I don't know how far into the game he's going to go, but like you have that lefty on lefty matchup with Green, but I think Green's good enough that he can still give you some results off that. But the problem is like I said, I don't know how long Boyd's going to go, but just the fact that he is a lefty and he's going to go probably as long as he can, we lose a lot. Like the problem with that is we lose Kerry Carpenter, we lose Colt Keith, we lose Zach McKinstry. I love those guys for the Tigers. So it becomes like really hard to draft because Tigers versus a lefty gives you a kind of ugly lineup. And, we also have like there's 3 lefties today. Right. With Reagan. And that just like really kind of messes with the lineups and the player pool. So it's been kind of tough to draft, but I'm glad that other people haven't thought so. And this thing's going to fill before we can even get the timer up.
What do you, I wonder if we can find Green splits. I mean,
yeah, I definitely can for you.
Is he that bad against lefties?
No, but he won't get pinch hit for. He'll stay in at least. Who do you guys want to go with next here? We got 9 seconds here. Torque staring me in the face. Jason Dominguez.
I like Torque.
All right, let's do Torque. Torque feels good. Torque's in there to start the game. He will stay in the game. Those are, there's a lot of pinch hit risk at the top of the Tigers lineup. And then who would you go with next?
Maybe one of the Yankees that isn't highly drafted, right?
Okay. Might I introduce you guys to Wells is lefty. Volpe?
Why not?
All right,
Paisano. A fellow Paisano.
There we go.
He grew up right down the street.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Riley Green is not, by the way, for the splits for you, Viper, not great against lefties. The K percentage is 5 points higher compared to righties. The walk percentage is down 6 points compared to righties. And his WRC plus is 95 against lefties, 150 against righties. But like, we're talking about this is one game here. So the range of outcomes.
Exactly. I mean, if we sprinkle a little Tiger magic on it, maybe those.
That's right.
Ooh, they are pesky. Should we go to a Tigers bat for our last one here? I'm looking at Rake Rogers. I'm looking at Parker Meadows, Perez, perhaps. Who do you like?
I love Perez, man.
All right. Perez feels safe to be in there because he's a switch hitter.
Wentzels, Prenzels, let's do it.
All right, there you go. Skubal, Spencer Torkelson, Anthony Volpe, Giancarlo Stanton, Riley Green, and what did you say, Nez? Wenzel's Perez, or what did you say? Petzels? What did you say?
I don't think you know about Wenzel's Pretzels down here in the in land of the free. It's a pretzel brand.
I'm aware. I'm aware. We got that one north of the border as well. Yeah, Rake Rogers, baby. Rake Rogers against the lefty. I love Rake Rogers as well.
Oh my God.
Beautiful stuff, Viper. Appreciate you so much coming on, telling us your story, man. Anything else you want to leave us with before Nez and I do the Primetime Palooza?
No, I really expect both of you to punch tickets.
Thank you, man. I hope so. I hope it's coming. We've been trying.
I'm sure you both will. I'm not sure, but that would make me so happy.
Me too.
Yeah. It certainly would.
Oh, man. Much love, Viper, man. You've been nothing but gracious and kind since the beginning, bro. Pleasure to meet you, man. Finally put a face to the name and chat it through, man.
Have a great day, you guys. I got to get in the rooms.
There we go. Yo, best of luck tonight, bro.
Bye-bye.
See you, bud. Man, just another classic reminder, Nez, that this community is so much more than just drafting on this platform, and how nice this community is, right?
Dude, Viper's the man. I mean,
Dude, he's a
it's
real
just
one.
like I knew that this was going to be an all-time winner circle, and I'm glad I'm glad he got the seat. Glad we got to bring him on to just like talk. Like I know this, like I knew that this dude has stories for days and days. Like
Oh
it was
yeah,
just
he's
a
holding
no.
them back for us. He's holding them back. He's got like another 40 ready to go from the hip when we're hanging out at the Dawg Bowl, man. Yeah, Clay's saying it. What a legend. Absolutely.
I mean, it just that was great, man. I enjoyed that as much as he did. I promise.
Yeah, likewise, man. Like just take it back or sit back and take it in. What a straight shooter. What a nice guy, man. Love that so much. Nezzy boy, what should we hit up here? I will talk through a couple changes. Let's talk through a couple of the changes on the platform to start here. The Battle Royale main slate. I don't have all the notes here, but we're doing away with a couple contests this week, and the Battle Royale main slate has now shifted to a $7 price point. It is pushed up to 50K. By the sounds of it, most people are big time fans of that. I will bring up John Boy Beats did a nice little breakdown of the payout structure for us there. There we go. I'll bring that one up there. My simpleton brain just goes green is better, but he broke down the BR slate of the week for us there. We got a new 50K up top, 14% of the prize pool instead of 10. They adjusted some of the min cash stuff, and as John Boy Beats said, Hope Numi cooked here.
Dude, this is nice. This is really nice. I hope that this is received positively by by the field at large, because I think this is a really good change. We get a greater prize pool for first, smaller number of entrants.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, to me, that's the win-win. You have the chance to win more money and you're up against fewer people. I'm excited for this change, and I hope that it's received positively.
Yeah, I agree with you there. A little bit more to max enter here in terms of price point, but let's be real. There's probably only 50 to 100 people considering maxing on every single week. So I think this is a positive change for the vast majority of people, right?
I think so. I can understand like seeing the increase and getting a little bit of sticker shock, because like I'm very mindful of the wide range of people that play an Underdog. I think that's what makes it so great. So yeah, but I don't think that like 5 to 7 I think is reasonable, and we'll see what what the feedback is like. But so far so good is what I'm gathering.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what happens, because we've talked so much in the past here, but for people that are new and whatnot, we've talked about like long-term health of the ecosystem and like sustainability of games with RNG, because this game is distinctly different than DraftKings.com redacted, or because like you can go in there and build a Joe Burrow double stack every single time on a salary-based game, right? A draft-based game, because you're going peer-to-peer, it's harder to do so, and there is a little bit more in the RNG there. So that min cash of like double your money and stuff like that would go a decent way for creating like plus EV lineups with stuff that you did not deem optimal, right? So like there was a little balancing act there, and I think they hit it. I mean, I think getting like $3 back on your 7 feels like fine. It feels like you don't have to double your money with a min cash, but I'm interested to see how this plays out for the 150 maxers over like an elongated sample,
Yeah, no, I agree. I think whenever you increase this from 5 to 7, you definitely, I think, have to be more mindful of the min caches. I've only been playing DFS like seriously for like 2 years now, I think, basically like a little bit longer than we've been doing the show, but always played, but never like paid close attention to things like price. Like I'm still like learning this stuff. And I say that because like Pete had a really awesome After Dark with Jordan from SaberSim, hangs out with us, and some really good conversations about like different things and the dynamics of Underdog and whatnot. And basically he talked about like the importance of like min caches, which like you don't really, I never think about that really. And like where the cutoff is and everything. So I think that like, after hearing that and thinking about that and losing a lot this Sunday, I can understand like why that is important, especially when you increase the prize point to 7. You do need to like give the give the people their money back a little bit.
Yeah, and like and that's why it's been an evergreen conversation for us, is because like, you can go back in the archives like 2 years ago, and we've had this conversation many times. As every structure changed, like what does this do to the life cycle of the ecosystem? But I think this is a good balancing act for it, because these games have RNG where the other ones do not. So it's going to be a constant figuring out. But this does mirror kind of like a slightly more traditional prize structure from like Redacted, but in a Underdog friendly manner is how I would kind of articulate it, right?
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
Cool, man. Beautiful stuff there. We will do a full breakdown of that on Wednesday. For tonight, Nez, we got the Primetime Palooza, but slightly different for the Primetime Palooza here. It is, instead of a 2-gamer, it is a 3-gamer, which includes a London game on the morning of Sunday there, or morning for the vast majority of us. On Sunday morning there. It's a 3-gamer, but this is 6-person drafts. So this is the first time we have seen 6-person drafts in the 3-gamers. They have always been 4 up until the point. And what this does is it introduces ADP to the equation for a short slate, which is something we haven't dealt with yet this season. So yeah, just macro thoughts on how you approach this contest than the Primetime Paloozas in which we've been dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, it like you said, now that we have ADP, 6-person drafts, it really changes the dynamic. I think, this will, I'm not sure how this is going to impact these contests yet. And I don't know if this will even be like a mainstay for the Primetime Paloozas going forward. I guess it depends on how many more London games that we have upcoming. I haven't really checked that schedule, but I think that kind of allows this to happen because the payouts take place Sunday morning. I mean, there's just a lot of changes here for people watching this show, and you and I. The old format benefits us more. The ability to take advantage of projection ranks versus ADP, that benefits people like us who play a volume, who watch the show, pay attention, are doing the work. I mean, that takes away a lot of the edge. So that's like kind of like, I got to kind of come to grips with that. And yeah, I think now though, you got to just find a new angle. And the new angle, I think, is doing some scrolling and maybe doing it before round 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with you there. It's interesting. I asked at one point, I didn't get a response, but I think it's because it was too late at night there. I asked at one point if it was a mistake that it was 6, but I don't know. Maybe they're just trying something out here. Yeah.
They had a playbook.
They had a playbook to set it up. Okay. Mm-hmm. Got it. Yeah. I missed
the
playbook. Okay. I missed the playbook. So then I didn't realize that. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they were just dealing with too much on the back end because we don't know what gets drafts thrown out. We don't know whatever. Mm-hmm. So maybe they were dealing with like a little bit too much blowback or chaos on the back end of having to like be subjective about throwing out drafts and blah, blah, blah. Because with the quarterbacks not all pushed up to the top, that's what made super teams in the 4-person draft contest, right? When 3 quarterbacks would run off and then you build a super flex team, or you get like a big fall or something like that. And that's just like far less likely to happen with ADP. And I think that's probably the biggest positive for them to pivot to this is the fact that, okay, the integrity of the contest is in a better place because of ADP.
That I think that is like objective. That is, I think that's a fact. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I mean, I think it'll still end up filling, but I am curious to see like how the fill rate is affected by this change, because
you could definitely tell it's slower right now. And I think it's hard to tell if that's because they're 6-person lobbies instead of 4s, because the 4s fill so rapidly. Now people might jump in and see 2 and then take themselves out or something like that.
Definitely
maybe that's impacting fill rate more so than the fact that it's a 3-gamer and a 6-person draft. Just the fact that like the immediate fills aren't happening as quick. So it's hard to block out signal and noise when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Just interesting to talk through. Yeah, sorry.
Sure. And the last thing I'll say is, like, at this point in the season, you know, I mean, people may be in different bankroll situations than they were in weeks prior, and tying up money until Sunday morning when we have main slates to draft is also like a big ask.
That's a very, very good point. And that you also add in the fact that we have a baseball slate that was 30K with 6K to top to first there. And you got a hockey slate that is decent size as well. I think it was 20K total with 3K to first there going tomorrow. So like, it's just a lot of capital, and you dropped the battle royale at the exact same time. So maybe people are trying to catch closing value in the battle royale before this as well. But I mean, for my money, I think it's a really fun slate. I will be throwing in more entries here. I did a bunch yesterday for the 2-game variety of this, so I got some action going into tonight. But yeah,
I was close.
With some teams.
Yeah, I got some like decent, like I got some okay teams, but like I only did 25 of these that are going live today, that finished tonight, and 48% Jalen Tolbert, which is like cool. Ooh. Very cool. 0% Rico Dowdle, which is not good. Not good.
Yeah. So it'll be a fun one to sweat through this evening. All right, Nez, let's talk about this isolated slate. We've seen the running backs pushed up to the top here. A little bit of shifting in ADP in recent memory here, like just DJ Moore being pushed up like this. Then we're going to have the evergreen Kelsey decision of like, does tight end matter versus the field? There's a Q tag on Evan Ingram, like evergreen for the 50,000th slate in a row there. It's crazy, man. He got a hamstring injury in pregame warmups, and he hasn't played for 4 weeks. Like it's just like, oh my God, I hope this isn't the Nico Collins hamstring, like doesn't go with this same trajectory right now. I mean, they're not all created equal, but like just the word hamstring and then seeing the most recent hamstring injury look like this is just kind of shocking. I think the best way to do it is position by position. The biggest wrinkle, I guess, with the 6 persons versus the 4 persons is there's no leverage anymore in scrolling the F down at quarterback and making like some weird stacks with the quarterback, because all the quarterbacks are going to be drafted. If we go back to the results from last time out here, look at this team that wins 12 steps. He was a non-Badger prior to this. He just goes full game onslaught with the exception of Garrett Wilson there. And he scrolls down to QB6 on the slate, which was Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins ends up scoring as QB1, and the onslaught just gets it home. He's unduped, and he wins $20,000. We kind of lose that bit of leverage there. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Yeah. On this slate, because all the quarterbacks are getting drafted. So how are you treating the quarterback position? Do we have to push them up? Are there, what are you thinking?
I mean, it's very interesting. On here with QB6 being Derek Carr, and QB1 being Mahomes, like I'm not gonna get to like any Mahomes here. It does not seem necessary in the slightest.
Yep.
But
especially the way in which he's been playing recently. Yeah, just full kind of game manager vibes. It's it hasn't been the same Mahomes ceiling that we're accustomed to.
No, it has not. I mean, for me, like Purdy, Caleb, and Gino are my favorite clicks on this slate, and I think because there are no other QB, like you said, there's no scroll QB options. So waiting on QB is not like what it is on normal slates. I think it's okay to go get your guy, and get your Purdy, get your, whoever your flavor is, go get them. And to hell with ADP. If you have the stack set up or you want that stack, get them. Just do it.
I would ask you, are you more or less worried about falling into ownership patterns in a 6-person or in the 4 persons?
Definitely 6.
Okay. Yeah. Because like less combos are going to be readily available to make. So people will replicate the same ones over and over again.
And it's like, we know what people are doing. We have we have the data. It's right. It's right in front of us. We don't know what people are doing in the 4 persons.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe we can all sort by ETR, but like no one really knows what's common.
I do like the added wrinkle to this slate, even though it's the threes and it's got the ADP and stuff. The added wrinkle to it is we have no projections for Thursday and Sunday unless you make them on your own accord right now. So it is kind of cool that at least people aren't just like drag and drop uploading, the ranks that have been done by another site kind of deal.
That is that is like one of the cooler parts about this. It's like bare knuckles, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Good shout out to the late night drafts in Vegas there, where you're not even allowed to bring a list, all from top of the dome. All right, dude. Let's rank the quarterbacks here. You said you didn't really like Mahomes, but is he still your QB1 on this slate?
No.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, who do you like?
I think I would probably. I want to say Caleb really bad.
Okay.
But the fact that he's in London, like, definitely throws a wrinkle in there. I'll say Purdy,
Okay.
QB1. Purdy, and then Caleb. And then I think Mahomes, but like I really want to say Geno.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, man. It's tough here because Mahomes is also dealing without Rashee Rice we saw it for the majority of last game, but without Rice, without Hollywood Brown, without all of his weapons, right? We got a Q tag on McCole Hardman, who wasn't really playing last week. Like, what are we going to get from their 3 wide receiver sets? Like, Sky Moore with 2 brutal drops last week, or one brutal drop and one kind of like stopped on a route on his 2 targets. It's very interesting what we're going to get tonight in terms of Mahomes pass catchers here in this spot. Like, is it just Mahomes to Kelsey? That's all you want, and then you'll just play the game through other avenues, or you want that worthy explosion, but we're not entirely sure. What do you think?
I mean, if you want me to tell you where my money's at, it's on.
Tell me. Picture this. Tell me.
If Clay's in the chat, I'd like to let him do the honors.
Oh, wow.
It's on Noah Gray, dude.
The clouds this evening are looking slightly gray. Wow.
I mean, if you're looking at the projections in the lobby, man, I mean, he's right there with Justin Watson. Justin Watson's at 24. Noah Gray's at 20. Yeah. Xavier Worthy is at 41, but 48 whenever you factor in the rushing as well with him.
Sure.
I don't know, man. I don't think Noah Gray looks like he belongs on the football field. Noah Gray, 4 targets, 4 receptions, 40 yards last week. I just kind of like him as leverage because I don't think he's being drafted every time in this contest. I took him a lot in the 2-game contest because I didn't think he was being drafted enough there. Like, he was not drafted 100% of the time.
Sure. Yep.
I mean, like, sure, the ceiling is like whatever, but like this is kind of a gross slate. And the KC pass catchers, man, after Worthy, like Justin Watson, like I said, in the pick'em lobby, 24 receiving yards. Juju Smith-Schuster is probably going to be like second in routes, maybe first in routes. 17 receiving yards. It's bad. It's very, very bad.
Yeah, that's a good shout there. One thing I'll layer on, maybe we'll just jump to tight end and do the onesies first here. One thing I'll layer on with your Noah Gray take is if we end up getting no Evan Ingram, who's going in like every single draft right now, the pivots are going to only be to Strange or Foster Moreau. We've already got no Taysom. Yes, no Taysom.
Yeah, he's not playing tonight.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can't swap those guys.
Sorry, not Foster Moreau because he'll be going tonight. He's the same thesis. The swaps will only be like Strange, and then you'll be dealing with like backup tight ends, right? Like, people aren't thinking through like the potential. So if Strange goes in your draft, like, you're not going to have a clean swap off of Ingram. So it is a very risky pick there at the tight end position. So if you go ahead and put Noah Gray tonight and bank a score, if he is like 8 points, 10 points, 11 points, something like that, you might have like triple bubble leverage if Evan Ingram doesn't go on Sunday morning.
It's a really good point. I mean, Evan Ingram is a very tough click for this game. He's got to fly to London with that bad hammy. And like you said, the swap options are not good, assuming, well, I mean, hopefully nobody takes Brenton Strange in your lobby. If they do, you should say hello to that person that takes Brenton Strange from you. If you're taking Evan Ingram, that's such a dick move, but it's
never forget, never surrender. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the running backs real quick. I think there's 3 that go at the top of the board there. We saw the Kenneth Walker receiving rule come to fruition. There should Swift be up in this tier from what we saw the last 2 weeks from him. He looks explosive. He looks pretty nice despite everybody saying that offensive line is terrible. He's had some nice work in the receiving role, but he's had 3 touchdowns, Nez, at the goal line taken away by Roschon Johnson. Roschon Johnson has 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games. We are looking at some pretty lofty scores from Swift, but imagine, he's got 26 and 19. Imagine if he had converted some of those goal line opportunities there. He might have been like the RB1 overall in all of fantasy for the last 2 weeks combined if those went his way. So does he belong up in this conversation?
I mean, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, if you're looking at the usage that he's gotten, I mean, only 2 targets last game, but they were dominating. So it was there was no need, because instead he gets 21 rush attempts, which in today's economy, 21 rush attempts is nasty. Yeah. So this dude gets 21 rush attempts. He ran 22 routes despite the 2 targets. 4 attempts inside the 5. It really seemed like they kind of made like a concentrated effort because they could to give Swift the touchdown. So I don't know that they're going to give him the Make-A-Wish touchdown moving forward. I think that they'll probably end up using like Roschon because he's just such a bigger back. Okay. Swift though has a good role, man. I mean, he's got a really good role. He's in a good spot against Jacksonville, who like I just like have no respect for on defense, really just at all. So this seems like a great spot for the Bears here, Swift included.
Okay. Yeah, cool. No, I respect the hell out of that. That being said, will you get to any Roschon as potentially this new goal line role as like a flex play in the last round as a scroll?
I don't think it's crazy. I mean, Bigsby goes ahead of him, and I obviously agree with that. And we've got like, what is that, a 10-pick gap between Bigsby and Roschon? If I can help it, no Roschon for me, but like definitely in my player pool.
Okay. Yeah, no, respect it, dude. Okay, I think there's kind of like a clear line in the sand after these ones, and then it's kind of like people are treating Kareem Hunt from what they saw in the previous game as like, Kareem Hunt's going to be that dude for KC. Do you believe Kareem Hunt's going to be that dude for KC, or do you think we're going to still see a little bit more mix and match with Carson Steele, who fumbled last week and then kind of that's 2 weeks in a row now, got his job ripped kind of thing. And then Samaje Perine, who's been doing some pass game stuff, but then has also had a couple red zone opportunities.
I mean, Kareem Hunt came in and took the majority of snaps off the couch and took the majority of snaps, took 58% of the rush attempts. I mean, yeah, I definitely see him as the RB1 in Kansas City. And you can only, in my opinion, I think the role is only going to get larger for Kareem Hunt, right? I mean, it was his first game back, and he just in like, what was that, 16 touches for the guy? I mean, it's crazy. So
16 total.
Yeah, so I've been like very much into Kareem Hunt in these contests. I think it's right that he goes over ETN after like Bigsby just continues to outperform him. Yeah,
so let's talk about that situation there. Pretty kind of like standard easy ranking thus far for us there. Projection on the site indicates ETN. ETR had a very big ETN projection this weekend and ended up in a lot of people's lineups after swaps in the main there. But Tank Bigsby, man, continues to look way more explosive, break tackles at a way higher rate. Levitan had a really nice tweet about it this afternoon if you guys want to go check that one out there. But like Tank Bigsby, man, eye test. Like this feels like the last slate we played where we were talking Rachaad White versus Bucky Irving, where we're kind of seeing this low-key flippening in the rushing rules, and they keep using Travis Etienne as kind of like a little bit of a pass catcher stuff. But it does kind of look like, okay, we see how inefficient he's been on the ground. Let's start using Tank. Who are you drafting ahead?
I would still take ETN over Tank, I think.
Okay, interesting. Yep.
But like I don't have like any conviction in that at all.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's entirely fair, man. I don't know what the right answer is here. It's probably the most pivotal decision on the slate outside of if you think a second and or third Chiefs wide receiver will matter. I think those are kind of like the 2 biggest ones to decide there. But I think this is the one where you were on the Bucky stuff last week and I was on the Rachaad White, and I was like, the coach speak, I think they're going to keep him in there and whatever. This one for me is the flippening. This is the flippening.
Okay.
They almost lost that game last week when they had no business losing, or this week, yesterday, when Flacco just mounted this crazy comeback and almost put it down their throats there, made it a tie ball game late at 34-34. But yeah, I think they have seen enough where this team is sputtering. It's in the wrong direction. They need to right this ship to save everybody's jobs right now. And I think that the writing's on the wall that it's just like, okay, ETN had the shoulder the previous week. ETN's been inefficient. Let's blame it on the shoulder. Let's whatever. Tank's our guy now.
I mean, who in their right mind would be surprised by that?
Not I, man. Not I, from what we've seen thus far.
I just don't know. It's just like Doug Peterson's such a donkey that like,
yeah.
will he like come to his senses and do that? Or is he like, no, actually Tank Bigsby does better when he doesn't play as much. Like it's good
right.
for the team that our best running back isn't actually on the field as much as he should be.
Which is crazy because, man, it just reminds everybody about sample size, because like last year we were talking about Tank being like so inefficient every time he touched the ball, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes out this year and it's like, maybe he's got that juice, dog. Like, it's just funny how we work in such small sample sizes in the NFL and we have to be like so reactive and so anticipatory, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a whole different conversation with best ball. Maybe ran a little hot with the Tank fade last year.
Yeah.
Because I mean the dude just had such a disastrous like sample when he was in the field that they were just like, fuck, we can't do anything with this guy.
Yeah.
He looks really good. He looks really good, man.
Yeah, he does so far. Respected there. We talked about Roshan as a scroll the F down there. Charb's still getting a little bit of a role. We saw it in the pass catching game this weekend. Only 5 touches, 4.5 points there. I was out over my skis a little bit with the Ken Walker stuff. Like, just like they didn't touch the ball, man. Like the Giants controlled that game. So if you were just looking at like box score stuff, the Seattle stuff is not going to look nearly as good from this week as like they will probably project, right? Because they didn't have the ball for the first. They touched the ball to start the game. Then the Giants went on a 7-minute drive, fumbled at the goal line. Seahawks score a touchdown on a 100-yard fumble return. Then the Giants get the ball back and they take another 7 minutes off the clock. Like, they just did not possess the football in this game. And then the Giants got the football to start the second half. So like, and then DK Metcalf had a fumble. So like all these little like pieces all went together in like time of possession being so lopsided. So if you're just looking at box scores, I think the biggest takeaway is Ken Walker was a plus in the pass game. Like, that was very encouraging late in that ball game. But like, if you're just looking at pure raw numbers, it's not going to tell the whole story of like the usage of either of those players. So I do think he's in play, but these are pure scrolly F downs.
Well, I think honestly, dude, 2 things. I mean, Ken Walker's a ADP 4, so like, maybe we're actually not getting a good buying opportunity. But I was going to say, like, he got the steam, flopped, and like, but like you said, what was really important here, and hopefully, we can get a flop again with some similar usage. Like 8 targets for Ken Walker.
Wild, dude. Trailing script. That's so encouraging.
That happy learned how to putt type deal there. I mean, that's a problem. If Ken Walker is getting 8 targets a game, that's
here.
He's gonna have some monster games.
I tagged JJ Zacharyson in something this morning that Dago posted, and I'm gonna find it right now just because JJ and I had the conversation on the Best Ball show over the summer there, becoming a Best Ball bro. That was a really fun one. But we talked about Ken Walker and versus Sharps there. Ken Walker, this is from Daigle here. I'll just bring it up here to give him his credit as he deserves. The Ken Walker averaged 6.8% target share in 2 seasons under Shane Waldron. His target share under Ryan Grubbs is 13.9%. And he missed a week. So like, that Sharps role, if we take that Sharps role from that one isolated week, that 90% of snaps and whatever, and we apply a little bit of that to Ken Walker for that 1 week, if Ken Walker had been there, I think this number is probably closer to like 14, 15, because they had a lot of running back targets in that 1 week that Sharps was playing. But, obviously can't completely do that, but a little bit of bro science there in my mind.
Yeah, Ken Walker, dude. He's still a dog. I mean, didn't get home last week, but I mean, like you said, that game was just so wonky. And hey, man, Giants might I mean, I'm going to do it right now. We're going to give them the pesky label, man. The Giants are pesky.
Ooh, the Tigers of this season?
I mean, like, they might be okay. Nobody thought that they were going to win this game. Nobody thought that they would be able to put up a fight in this spot. And I mean, gotta give them some credit, man. They played a good game.
Yep.
Move the ball. Shout out Darius Slayton, man.
Yeah, man. Slayton, too bad that Luke McCaffrey pick him. That just brings me back there. We had a fun one. We spiced up Luke McCaffrey catches to 4.5, and he got missed a couple wide open times, and the game script didn't really go their way there. But we had the Darius Slayton higher on the receiving yards, and we had another fun one. Oh, higher on Trey Sermon fantasy points. And then almost a 7Xer for Luke McCaffrey, 4.5 catches, and he ended up with 3. So that would have been a nice little 3-1 scoop there. But no bueno, no Mooney, no money. Right. I'll ask you. I'm probably not scrolling beyond Jamal Williams here, and I probably won't even scroll to him. But I have decent Samaje Perine bags from the previous slate there. Obviously, only a 2-gamer, just because I wasn't ready to fully hand the mail there to Kareem Hunt, and I thought he was a better click than guessing between Justin Watson and Juju Smith-Schuster. Any love for Jamal Williams or Samaje Perine, or we just turn the page?
Samaje Perine, I think, has a little bit of say here. Really weird stat line there against the Chargers, but like maybe if like the Saints can rekindle some of that magic and put the Chiefs in a trailing script, that's definitely more dropbacks for Samaje to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's talk about rekindling some of that magic here with the wide receiver position, because both the Saints pass catchers are going decently high, and a lot of people have exposure to them going into tonight from the previous contest there. The Rashid Shaheed role is legit, but I'm a little scared tonight, man. They're missing a little bit of offensive line help that got injured. One's on IR. Ruiz got injured the previous week there. And man, Spagnuolo can get after the quarterback. Chris Jones can get after the quarterback in a big way. And the evergreen narrative with KC thus far is they've been getting absolutely cooked by tight ends and not really anybody else there. So I'm a little afraid of like Trent McDuffie, bodying up Rashid Shaheed out of the slot or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. What are you feeling with the pass catchers this evening?
This evening or in this slate?
Well, I was formulating that as a segue off of your Saints stuff, but we can talk about the slate as a whole. Do you like the Saints stuff? Because they're the easiest to stack with Carr for free.
I definitely have like a very like bad feeling about this game.
Okay.
The Chiefs
City?
The Chiefs at home, man, are just like I forget the stat, but I heard it like last year, and like ever since then, I feel like it's always true. Chiefs at home, like those games just go under their total so often. And we have this like strange Saints offense that like way overperformed in the first 2 weeks, came back down to earth, and now is facing a Chiefs defense that is good. At home on Monday night. I'm not really like thinking that the Saints have like really strong ceilings here. I don't know how they're going to get it done, but they're so concentrated that it like, I don't want to double count that.
Right.
I think Olave wide receiver 4 is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's fair. And Shaheed behind Worthy, I think like is okay too. So I think they're appropriately priced on the slate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Sounds
think
like you agree with the market, Nez.
I am aligned with the market here.
Yeah. Do you agree with the market on DJ Moore being wide receiver 1 after the 2 touchdown performance yesterday?
I think it makes sense against Jacksonville. I think he's clearly the wide receiver 1 in Chicago. Rome is going to have his games. I don't think I can take Keenan over Rome until Keenan has a good game. I mean, Keenan has the injury. He has his age as well. Like we could be seeing a declining Keenan, which would like really break my heart because like I love him and I really need the fat Keenan, spouters to really eat crow on that. But so far it looks like they're winning, even though Keenan is the same size he's always been. But yeah, I think DJ Moore definitely wide receiver 1 against this Jags defense, which is not good. And Caleb continues to improve week over week. And he had a really good game. I mean, really bad defense, but another bad defense here against Jacksonville. So yeah, I think DJ Moore is worthy of being wide receiver 1. Not to go ahead.
Yeah, Jags number 1 in passing yards allowed per game as of right now. They got absolutely cooked by Joe Flacco, comeback player of the year yet again, 2 years running here potentially. So
I mean, win it this year, I don't think.
No, yeah, I'm just fucking around.
I needed to get the clarity out there.
Yeah, I like DJ Moore, man. I think he's rightfully priced as number 1 on the slate there. I think if you want to buy into the Ayuk stuff that we saw and kind of like a slight flippening of him and Debo there, that's a very interesting conversation to have, because the carrion coming into the chat here, bringing up, we don't know what went into the Debo projection there. Yeah, we haven't figured it out just yet here. Yeah, I think the market has appropriately priced DJ Moore. They've appropriately priced Brian Thomas. I think they've appropriately priced the Saints guys. I think the levers to pull here are: do we see expanded Xavier Worthy because of all the injuries to KC right now, in particular Rashee Rice? Another week to prepare. Do we see something more than just Kittle taking that Rice role back? Do we see something different and creative with Worthy there? And then what do you do with the San Fran guys? Because if you think Ayuk is now like, this is the spot, right? And, we do the man coverage versus zone coverage. We do this sort of thing. Like, if you think Ayuk is that dude right now, like, this is generational opportunity to flip him and Samuel and get super exploitative. I'm not sure that that's the spot. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I think what I'm worried about is being too late on like the Ayuk over Debo thing. Well, I mean, I had a lot of Debo last week, but I also had a lot of Ayuk as well. But the what I'm referring to is like the Debo calf. Maybe he came back too soon. Back-to-back games of just like not a big performance. Although we did have an explosive play against the Patriots,
and now you get a short week.
Yeah, so it's very tricky. I like Ayuk because of the way that the Niners are playing right now and the way that Purdy is playing. We talked about it on Off and On the Clock. Purdy is playing a much more aggressive brand of football right now, and I just think that no question benefits Ayuk's game.
Yeah, he led all quarterbacks, just to reset the stat from last week. Going into last week, he led all quarterbacks in attempted air yards.
Yeah, he's just slinging that shit, and he's being aggressive, trying to get into tight windows. So I like Ayuk here, and this should be a really fun game. I think I would love for this to pop off. Obviously, on prime time, we want to see a good football game, but I think that the Seattle's a good team. Just kind of got hit in the mouth against the Giants there. I'd like to see a really fun shootout here, which I think has the potential.
Okay. I think the scroll options at wide receiver are a lot more fun than those at the running back position on this slate. I think it's going to lead people to a lot of 1-1-3-1s because they can tell themselves a story about Gabe Davis, getting 4 catches this week. They could tell themselves a story about we're only 1 week removed from Juwan Jennings, finding his way to leading the team in targets there. Tyler Lockett had 70 yards this week and, 6 targets. So, maybe we're premature on the JSN flippening. I think people are going to be scrolling at the wide receiver position more than anything else. And then, as Jordan's brought up multiple times in the chat here, he thinks it's Juju season there for the Chiefs. What do you got for the scroll wide receivers, Nez?
Ooh, well, I can't. It's hard for me to like conceptualize the cutoff of like undrafted here, but I would definitely not feel good about my team if I had Juju. Okay. I mean, I think you're kind of hoping for like 10 points from Juju.
Yep. Or touchdown 2 weeks ago.
That's what I mean. Like that would be definitely touchdown. Yeah. Like dependent. Same with Justin Watson. But at least Justin Watson, we've seen some deep balls in the past. So like he can, I think he has a little bit of a higher ceiling there. Gabe Davis though, like I don't know that I want any part of Gabe Davis right now. So I think you could maybe say Justin Watson greater Gabe Davis at this point in time. So tell me if you think I'm crazy, John, but like I think Xavier Worthy is just like so overpriced in this contest.
I think it's just baking in the ceiling potential outcome, and it's baking in the fact that if you take Mahomes early, most likely you're not getting Kelsey, so people are forcing a stack. I think that's what's happening with the
Good
ADP.
point.
I think if you're just doing like a raw projection number, yes, he's going to project worse than the Shaheed role, potentially the JSN role, definitely worse than the Christian Kirk role if we had no Evan Ingram in there. But the ambiguity of those situations, coupled with the fact that Mahomes goes so high, I think that's why his ADP is that way. Now, to answer your question, yes, he's overpriced.
I think that's like one of the best things about this slate right now is, and God, I could be way wrong because it's Chiefs, it's Mahomes and the Chiefs, but like.
Right.
I think that's what makes if I could sell this slate to people, it's like the Chiefs are going every time and they're going early. And if you just make custom ranks and like basically remove the Chiefs from it, like I think you would have a pretty good edge here. But maybe not Kelsey, but Worthy going over our guy JSN and going over Christian Kirk and Roma Dunze. I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's an interesting conversation. Separate conversation. Let me address the Worthy one first here. If Worthy scored 2 touchdowns on 4 catches like he did in week 1 or something, and scores 20 something fantasy points, I could 100% see it. The slate's broken. He wins you the slate kind of deal, right? The other end of the spectrum is relative to his price tag. He scores 4. So I think if we want to use the terminology of the century, in which is passing around our circles right now, the air bars on Worthy are what make him enticing, I guess, right? But I do kind of agree with you. It's hard. It's a hard sell to be like, hey, the most likely highest implied team total on this slate would be the Chiefs, and removing them from your ranks would be very, very hard to do. But you could definitely make more cromulent teams with doing so, right?
Yeah, I guess like not to like fact check you, but I think the Niners are going to have a higher team total on this slate.
Yeah.
But they're up there. But regardless, your point stands that it's like that feels like a fantasy receipts tweet like waiting to happen, to be like, oh, look at dumbass Nez said to take Patrick Mahomes out of your ranks, fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's crazy to say in the confines of our contest. I don't think it's crazy to say at all.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I believe what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Scrolling at the position, I mean, we talked about the Gabe Davis one. It was nice to see a slight uptick in his role other than just wind sprints, but man, he looks bad out there. Like he just, I don't know. It's ugly to watch right now. He almost scored a touchdown. Did you see how it happened?
Mm-mm.
Tank Bigsby scored a touchdown and then went to the ground, and it looked like he fumbled, and Gabe Davis almost jumped on it. He almost got the Trey McBride. So,
oh my God,
that's how Gabe Davis gets his touchdowns. Maybe
that would have been good, because then people would have saw he had a touchdown and like not realize how he scored it.
Mm-hmm. I'll ask you one scrolly F down. Mason Tipton. This is like super gal brain, and you probably don't need to go here on the 3-gamer, but they did cut A.T. Perry, so just throwing it out there. And just for the record, with some other names of the scroll the F down, Ricky Pearsall didn't start his practice window. Hardman, you want some leverage off the KC stuff. At least he's been there for a while. He did log a full practice. Let me just confirm before. I want to make sure it was full, not limited. Yep, full practice on Saturday for McCole Hardman. So if you want a little bit of leverage at that position, they have CEH with a Q tag. I think CEH is closer to a doubtful tag here, but just throwing it out there, you will see that is doubtful for Monday there. So he's probably not a click, which makes the Hunt stuff and P. Ryan stuff, but just talking through some extreme scroll the F down stuff down here.
Yeah, I don't think I have any other options there. John, how old is Gabe Davis?
28.
He's 25.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. He's been in the league forever, and he's been a buy and then a sell and then a buy and then a sell like 50 times over, and he's the same age as Michael Penix. Like, that's fucked, dude.
Like,
yeah, I would have said 30.
I was so in on this guy in best ball season. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Jags stuff has kind of gone belly up right now, so I don't know. There's still time for them to right the ship. Maybe a little trip across the pond. They're playing 2 games back to back in London. One is the road team, and then one is the home team for the next 2 weeks here. So, I mean, maybe they're fading hurricane season down there in Florida. I mean, stay safe out there.
Do with it. I really wonder.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, are they? So they're staying out in London. I'm assuming. Like, there's no way they would come back, right?
I interpret it as they're staying out in London, but I haven't heard anything definitive. I think it'd be crazy to fly back and forth because it's like 6 hours, probably. Might be longer than that. I know from London from me is 8 hours. So I imagine from Florida up is like 7.
I wonder who they play the following week. That'll be interesting to see if they get like if the spread on that game, like, oh, it's the Patriots, so it'll be hard to determine, if like what kind of advantage they're getting by like
Right.
it would probably be like an extra point, I would think.
Is there a chance that Drake May makes his first ever start in London? They wouldn't do that to the fan base, right?
I think it's coming this week.
Yeah, so it would come this week to get one out of the way. Then he'll go to London, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
Fucking crazy. We're not even having this conversation if Jalen Polk gets a foot down and bounce.
I think we are.
No, they win the game. They win the game. They beat Miami. Everything's sunshine and roses. Everybody's smiling. Jacoby Brissett, we're still in the hunt. We're not having this conversation.
All right. You know what? You might be right, which is like hilarious.
If Jalen Polk gets the other foot down, we're not having the conversation. Like, I threw out a tweet and I was like, dude, he just sunned the shit out of Drake May for another week. And then it didn't count. And then I was like, oh, I thought for sure.
That would be wild. That would be wild. I'm ready for it. We need Drake May.
It'll be exciting
for the sake of like a storyline, and there's no way that's less watchable than the current product on the field.
Right. We need Drake May for segue to our draft, Nez. We need Drake May so that Patty Millions doesn't become Patty Pennies and can still employ our friend Sacrilegious, who is in the 104 in said draft with us.
It all depends on Drake May. It all
hinges on Drake May.
While we're at it, give Javon Baker some run too. Jalen Polk just played 100% of snaps last game, ran 100% of routes last game. Wow. So the Polk season is here. And man, on that primetime slate against the Jags, hopefully he can stay quiet this week against the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Shout out to the thought leader who took down the 6K there. We haven't ran down some of the winners because Best Ball Viper was just so electric. Maybe we could take a look at the results to close the show today there. But shout out to the thought leader who took down DeBomb this week. There he is, Peter over Zet. And yeah, Nez, I'll ask you the question. DJ Moore with a bullet. Wide receiver 1, or what do you like here?
So, like, do you think there's any merit to taking DeAndre Swift here?
If you think the other guy will.
I just think he's the right pick and just like take whatever wide receiver is left. And, I think and maybe we even get left with DJ Moore if this guy's like, oh my God, I can get Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy. Like, sign me up.
Sure. Yeah. No. Would you pair DJ Moore with DeAndre Swift?
Yeah, no problem with that.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, we'll see what Too Much Soul does here on the corner. But yeah, I do think the invisible line in the sand at the running back position is starker. Than the wide receiver one.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Mahomes, Kelsey already went. but
but
he could do the Worthy thing.
Yeah, but dude, Xavier Worthy's the fastest dude to ever play at to ever run in the combine. Didn't you hear?
Yeah, so Davis Maddock told me all summer long. Dude, shout out to Davis, who was jamming away in the Discord while on stream, while drafting, and still keeping up conversation on ADP chasing.
Special talent. Special talent.
By the looks of it, too much soul, forgot he was in a draft, bled the clock, and then took the 2 highest at ADP? Question mark. Yeah, I'll ask you here, Nez. Do you like the Debo stuff? Do you like the Ayuk stuff versus him, or do we go back to the DK Metcalf, who had 100 yards in 3 of the last 4 games?
Ooh, man, I don't think you can go wrong here. What do you think about Debo, man? Like, I know I kind of like.
I think it depends on your inputs on the projection. I'd rather take DK.
Do it.
Oh, never mind. We missed it. Yeah, I mean, like, you and I had this conversation 1,000 effing times this summer because you were a big Debo guy and I was a big DK guy. Just comparatively, the Debo stuff is so volatile. So, I mean, the fact that he went for 11 yards, like, that's just in what looks like a smash spot when they're 7-point favorites at home and the game script goes the wrong way. Like, it just, this is Debo Samuel, man. Sometimes he breaks the slate for 26. Sometimes he scores 4. He's Tyreek Hill-esque in disguise like that, except for he gets more rushing production. So, yeah, I mean, like, nothing like that surprises me. Now, was it surprising that the matchup when you're anticipating zone coverage versus anticipating man coverage, that Ayuk cooked in that scenario versus Debo cooking, which is historically the inverse? Yeah, but is the sample size kind of small? Probably. So, yeah, I mean, he's the most volatile pick on the board outside of Xavier Worthy. And sometimes you want that variance, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, I think the cope from my side of things is, like the calf potentially, still lingering. And the other thing is the Cardinals always seem to play the Niners pretty tough, divisional opponents there, but it's kind of weird in their own house to get upset like that. Mm-hmm. So that's strange. But I'm still waiting. They're still excited to draft Debo in spots, and but like, I just wish he was cheaper. But I mean, nothing wrong with where we got him here. But I just thought he would. I thought the field would put Ayuk over Debo. I thought we were a results-oriented site, which is why I like playing here. This is strange.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. Okay, so the 2 premium tight ends are now off the board here, Nez. We're staring at Travis Etienne. If we believe in the flippening, maybe we leave Tank on the board there and we take like JSN or Christian Kirk, or we could stack up Brock Purdy.
I think we do JSN. Sorry, I got something in my throat.
All right. We'll do a little bit of run back off the Debo stuff there. JSN found the end zone last week, another 7 targets. Tyler Lockett was still heavily involved. Debo had the fumble. Those are my fun Seattle facts of the afternoon.
I'm sorry. I was like coughing and I had a little bit of spice from my quarter pounder that I had for lunch.
Oh, cheeky boy. A quarter pounder on a Monday? I only have those post game, bro. You better be hitting that walk-in treadmill after this.
Hey, come on. Watch it, man. I'm a sensitive boy. I've got self-esteem issues.
Okay, so now I'll ask you, man. You said Brock Purdy potentially quarterback 1 on this slate, or we could take Tank Bigsby, which kind of appears like a bit of a drop off at the position, but we could also set up, one of those scroll the F down wide receivers by taking Purdy. Which do you prefer?
I think I prefer Purdy.
Sure, let's do it.
But just to flesh out the process here, I think I would do Purdy or Tank. Or maybe get that back and do like a Caleb to Rome thing and just do like a heavy Chicago play with the DeAndre Swift pick. But I like doing this, what we have going.
Okay. I have been pushing quarterback in my rooms as far as I possibly could, and I'm kind of fine with Derek Carr. I don't think it's a great spot tonight, but if we go trailing script on this, and I think he's got to get the ball out quickly, and he does kind of like usurp that 30, I think it was 31.5 in the pick'em lobby for pass attempts. If we get that tonight from him, I think he could score enough fantasy points that that he matters tonight, because I can paint bear cases for both these other games going sideways too. We got London travel, we got short week, we got divisional game, short week for this one. We got Debo Calf. We know you could spin zone both the other games as to why they could go south as well. So I think you can go bull case, bear case on this and just like draft for a scenario, right?
Yeah, definitely. And when you factor in draft capital too, I mean, Carr goes QB4 here, but I think he's QB6, right? In ADP.
Yes, he's QB6.
I mean, the difference between him and Mahomes is in the pick'em lobby is 4 fantasy points. I mean,
Sure, yeah.
If that holds true, like Mahomes won't be in the winning lineup.
Right. Yeah, I like that shout. Nez, I would ask you if you want to get ahead of tight end before our friend at the end here. I would suggest Juwan Johnson, but you did say the skies were gray this evening. So I would ask you, okay, the skies
Let's go
are
Lockett,
gray.
man.
You'd rather do Lockett and do 2 Seattle pieces opposed to stacking Juwan Jennings?
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Let's do it.
I feel pretty comfortable with Lockett's role. It's so funny, man. He's like addicted to catching and falling down. He had like open space.
Did he ever? He had so much open space. He probably could have house called it.
I know.
Old Tyler Lockett probably could have house called that ball across the middle, and he just falls down. The guy does not want to get hit, man. He does not want to get hit. It's fucking crazy.
It's so funny. But yeah, no, I prefer him here. And like, let's just like, if it's a Debo Alpha game, then it's a Debo Alpha game, and and we got the pieces around it.
Okay.
I'm dead serious about the Noah Gray stuff.
All right, skies are gray tonight, according to Nez. We are doing it in unstacked variety here. AJ Barner, shout out to the absolute winner of the primetime Palooza slate.
Yeah, he's
there
back in the box score.
He's back in the box score, dude. He had another red zone touch there, or just outside. It was green zone, I think. But they had a little design play for him drawn up. I think Pharaoh Brown missed too, which kind of like helped his case to get a little more workload there. But yeah, for the audio listeners, Brock Purdy, DeAndre Swift, Debo Samuel, JSN, Tyler Lockett, and Noah Gray. If I was on my own accord there, Nez, I think I would have stacked up Juwan. I think I would have taken Juwan Johnson first, let the other guy take Tyler Lockett, and then I would have stacked up Juwan Jennings in the last round. But maybe that's how everybody plays it. So go away from that. Check in on the thought leader here, who puts a premium on the tight end position with George Kittle there, Mason and Kittle, and then goes Brian Thomas, and then game environment with Caleb Rome, and we will see who he scrolls to. Does he have the stones to scroll all the way down? And no, he does not. He takes Zach Charbonnet, his highest exposed best ball running back.
That's a pretty good team.
That's a very good team.
Did you pop that out?
Sure, yeah, we could.
I'm just curious to see who the one hole takes for his final pick. That's all.
Sounds good. If you tell me how to, is it Control F?
Just F5. Just F5. Don't. Yeah.
All right, I got you. Roschon Johnson, who scored 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks there. So yeah, that's a decent one there.
Number
Goater,
3 started off.
Boater.
Hilarious name. A weird start with Kelsey, but like I don't hate it considering he's like the number 1 pass catcher in town. And honestly, he put together a team that I like.
Yep.
I mean, no stack, but other than Gabe Davis, I actually don't hate those picks. So yeah, man, I think I had fun drafting that team with you, and yeah, this is I think people should give this contest a shot.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, people are going to be drafting the hell of it.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. No, yeah. The way these rooms break and stuff, there's also going to be like less cries for help for like, oh my God, how did someone get that team in these lobbies comparatively? I think that's an overall good thing for the product. Let's rip one more, Nez, as we talk through some pick'em stuff at the same time, and then we'll call a show here.
Yeah, we definitely got to get a Monday night pick'em.
Yeah. I mean, despite what's going on in the chat here and Jordan telling me that he likes the Juju stuff, I did watch a little bit of Pete's show this morning here, and man, they have the longest. We did, you and I last night, shout out to you, did the Zeke lower on 7.5 longest rush. They have something similar today with Juju as longest reception of 11.5. I thought that was a pretty sharp shout from Pete in the chat this morning. So yeah, I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Automatic asking in the chat here. He's got a question about the hockey dailies. Yeah, shoot, man, and I will answer it for you to the best of my ability. And if I can't answer it for you, I will do so tomorrow. We are going to run a hockey show behind the paywall, hockey and baseball tomorrow for the multi-sport draftletes, and then back to football on Wednesday with Nez there. We got some friends in the chat here. ATL Braves beside us, Cowboys beside us, who has a Dawg Bowl seat as well. Nez, the 101. We didn't really have this debate yet.
We did not.
Jordan Mason or Alvin Kamara or someone else for you?
I think Kamara.
Okay.
I don't feel. I think pick 3 is probably one of the best spots to be in for this contest, but I think you go Kamara. He's got an awesome role.
Yeah, awesome role, potential trailing script. We talked about the O-line injuries and their propensity to blitz, that being KC's propensity to blitz and rush, which is like kind of worrisome, but that just means ball out quickly and more receptions for Kamara, especially if they are in trailing game script there. Not expecting Kendre Miller tonight just yet, despite the love affair that we have had on online here with his potential practicing and coach speak there. And no Taysom, man. That really helps touchdown equity, does it not?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, that's the goal line back.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny, man. Dennis Allen said Kendre Miller had a good practice, and like everybody on Best Ball Twitter just blew up.
Oh yeah.
Are you serious?
Dennis Allen said something nice. Oh.
It was pretty hilarious the way he was talking about him before. And I mean,
Dennis Allen's never said anything nice about any player ever in his coach speak. I will say
he said
that.
A.T. Perry needs to work on everything, and then A.T. Perry got fired. So, I mean, this is good. This is a step in the right direction.
I actually didn't notice if A.T. Perry signed with anybody. I was joking around that he'll go to the Chiefs practice squad. Chiefs missing so many people. Like, just take a shot on a guy like that. Why not?
Yeah, Chiefs or Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers. Everyone goes to the Steelers, eh, Nez? What do you think about your Steelers last night? Heartbreaker.
Yeah, that was a tough one, man. A late night game with the weather delay. So, I mean, poor East Coasters, man, up till 1 a.m. watching that garbage product. Man,
At least had an interesting ending.
It did. I mean, I just meant garbage product. Steelers do not play a pretty brand of football, which like I love that. Like it kind of like makes people like cringe when they watch them play. But yeah, I mean, dude, did you see that George Pickens like no route ran on that one play?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Come on, brother. What are we doing?
That is not Steelers football.
No, so that really stunk. So like, I'm really worried that Justin Fields is gonna get benched.
Nez, this is one of the rare times in which I would take Patrick Mahomes when he falls a little bit here, and you can stack him with Worthy on the left side of the board. I like George Kittle over the other tight ends, but if tight end doesn't separate on this slate and San Fran has so many effing weapons to go to, I would propose Mahomes Worthy here.
Let's do it.
All right. What would you do?
I think I would do George Kittle and
Sorry.
No, that would have been tough. I think George Kittle and maybe Hunt or maybe JSN.
Okay.
I don't think I would have done Mahomes, but I think you're right that this is a good time to do it unless it's happening more than we realize.
Okay. Yeah. It's hard to know if it's happening more than we realize. I think it's probably happening more in the middle of the board where like someone takes Mahomes at like 8, I'd say like 9 or 10 there. It takes him at ADP and then Worthy falls there. So maybe pairing with Kamara is a little unique in quotations because of the Mahomes falling to spot, but it's probably happening. You're probably right. It's probably happening more than we think. And if I had to pinpoint a combo that was rarer, it would definitely be Kittle there and JSN, as you alluded to. Now, I wouldn't have done that. I would have taken Kareem Hunt and George Kittle if we didn't do this combination in particular. But yeah, just food for thought and thinking through this on the fly.
Yeah, I'm just checking. We got Nico Collins news that he's week to week, which sucks.
Yeah, I did a couple of those BRs this morning there. I think I did 3 of them, and I took Nico in all of them just to get ahead of it in case he did play. Yeah. But that does what we were talking about at the beginning of the show there. That does seem congruent with what happened with Evan Ingram's hamstring, where it's like the hamstring, you just don't know, man. Like depending on the grade. Well, I'm preaching to the choir, physiotherapist over there.
Failed
physiotherapist.
Yeah, aspiring. Former aspiring.
Yeah, now you're an aspiring Dawg Bowl participant. How's it going?
Yeah. Really?
It's fun, man. Have a little fun.
Nothing fun, man, about getting the Gumby Sims back and seeing that your lineup is worth a McDouble every one.
That's why you're aspiring. Yeah, fail too. That's what we were alluding to, Mr. TD.
Hardy.
Hey, man. Kids got chirps for days. That's what I'm built upon. Oh, man. Tyler, Emo Cowboy reporting Nico likely 2 to 3 weeks per Jeff Mueller. Interesting. Okay. That sucks.
Yeah, that's a bummer, dude.
Damn near looking like he was one of the best wide receivers in football, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. It was hard to find more than like 2 guys that you could say are better than him right now. But
dude, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I guess this is the problem in taking Mahomes is no other quarterbacks go, and then you're kind of just like left with your wiener in your hand, as the kids would say. Nezzy, what would you like to do with this one? I'm thinking a little bit of wide receiver stuff here. Even Tank Bigsby is gone for us. Rome. Keenan?
I like Rome.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit more of a ceiling shot there. He did out target, which was not surprising, but more targets than Keenan Allen last week. So, yeah, I didn't look at the route participation stuff. Tight end, we could try and get ahead if you don't think we're going to like the one that comes back to us. But I imagine you think the clouds are gray on this lineup as well. So I think we should just go ahead and take a flex play. Samaje Perine or Roschon Johnson?
I just go Keenan. I know it feels bad without Caleb, but I would just do it. Like, he's the best player on the board, I think, like, by far. Okay. So I don't mean to make you jam the best plays here. I know that kind of hurts you inside.
It does, man. The best plays are subjective. The kids are saying, man, the best plays, sometimes they are not, in fact, the best plays. That kind of hurt my heart to just put 2 Chicago wide receivers in there. But if we think they're in the best spot and they are the best plays, Nez, we will play the best plays.
Yeah, it was just really hard to justify anybody else there, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, if we think Evan Ingram's playing, you could sell me on like Evan Ingram as like a little bit of a run back off of Rome there, get ahead at the position, and then have the flex one to play with on the last one there. And I would probably just pair Samaje Perine with this and be like, okay, Kamara scores twice on the ground and we're playing a little bit of a trailing script and the pass catching running back is Samaje Perine. I would have kind of played it through that lens. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason to think, okay, Chicago goes Burr, it runs through them, but Mahomes throws 2 touchdowns to Xavier Worthy. That's the story of this lineup.
Yeah, and I think you definitely make a good point with Ingram. If we had some like positive news, I think he would definitely be an option at that pick instead.
Yep, sounds good. GA painting some clarity on a potential goalie swap situation there in the chat. So for anyone playing the puck slate, it's interesting because Korpisalo's projected as Tendy #1 right now, but obviously Swayman just signed that 8-year deal and very well could just take his net back and start game 1 of the opening season. So interesting. We don't know if Swayman will play yet, but could be Gen Wealth opportunity for potentially a good goalie who's going undrafted right now. Nez comes back to us. We got the tight end position left here. We can correlate with the skies are gray and make our friend Clay happy, or we can add Juwan Johnson, who's in a pretty decent spot without Taysom Hill. I mean, Foster Moreau will still run some routes, but it's been going down a little bit recently, but no Taysom there, and New Orleans is cooked.
I mean, I just checked the forecast.
Oh, I think I know the answer.
Overcast.
Overcast. The skies are gray tonight in honor of our guy Clay. The skies are gray. That one was Kamara, Mahomes, Worthy, Rome, Keenan Allen, and then Noah Gray to close it out. A couple fun teams, man.
I mean, I liked what we built there.
Yeah, it's good.
A lot.
There we go. Yeah, roll the clip. If only we had a producer and clips. You know, we're not on Pete's level, bro. We're not there yet. We're not like you guys, the big time, the club guys. The club guys got clips and stuff. Holy smokes. All right, dude.
Pick them or you got
The
time?
Overcast. That could be a good show name. That could be a nice like the Overzet review one that he does on why am I blanking? Swolecast there. Overcast. That could be Petey's new one. Yeah, Nezzy. Oh, look at this. Reminder that it is Boostober, and sometimes you just randomly get some nice boosts in your account in the Pick'em lobbies. Yeah, there we go, man. Boostober right there, 20%. I will show you guys. I think I just ripped off these ones this morning from Pete's show. Maybe I did a little mixing and matching myself. But if those want to play along at home, I think this was Pete's one here. Worthy on the higher, rushing plus receiving, Rashid Shaheed on the higher, and pass attempts for Derek Carr, kind of like a trailing script. So if you guys want to play along at home, I'll just show these and you guys can look real quick and then make your decision there. But yeah, Ness, we'll do our own thing here. What are you thinking, dude?
Well, this is me kind of checking these out for the first time. I mean, we've been all about Noah Gray here. I think we got to put Noah Gray in this goddamn pick'em.
Okay.
We can start with Jawan while we're here, but
no, I was just checking it out. Noah Gray of the spice variety or of the receiving yards variety?
Ooh, man. Receiving yards, if we want to get a green pick 'em and tell everybody how cool we are and sub to Badge Bros and all that. But if we want to win some mother effing money, 4x,
spice it up, Noah Gray.
Come on,
spice it up.
Spice that bitch up.
All right, let's do the double tight end narrative. Both tight ends score on either side. Then we boost it up for another 20% here. 2 tight end scores on either side. 44x, Nez. 25 gets you 118. My confidence interval just doubled. 50 gets us 2237 for the cloudy skies and Juwan Johnson, who, reminder, Casey has been cooked by opposing tight ends.
People forget that, John.
People forget.
Let them know. Hashtag.
Let them know. Oh, man, we are spicing it up right now. Boys are bricked up for that one. Another good one in the chat here. Aaron saying that you can push up the grayscale to the completions to 3.5 there. You can spice up the receptions.
Nice.
That's a good one there.
James with some good alpha that, the targets and receptions for Kamara are basically the same. I think he means I like the receptions. I'm assuming because it's probably a lower number when in reality you can use the targets as like a baseline, I believe is what he's saying. So
yeah, targets 5.5, receptions 5.
Oh, it's like by like a so you get the opportunity to push. Okay.
You get the opportunity to exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know that's like that definitely not a quote unquote smash, but
okay. Let's go with your heart, dude. What do you like?
Let's look at Kareem Hunt, shall we?
Okay. Shout out to our guy Mathology joining up to be a member. Gives him access to the members only streams. What a youthful picture there. Look at that guy. Wow, what a handsome devil.
Of course, he's got the prime Mathology to let people know that he pulls chicks. Look at that. That's amazing.
If you guys didn't get a chance to go check out last week's winner's circle, Mathology punched his ticket to the Dawg Bowl. Very, very fun one there with him, and Magikarp was on as well. So we had 2 winner circles last week and then another one this week, which was very, very fun. Go check out that show. Some evergreen stuff there. Okay, Nez, Kareem Hunt, 48.5 on the rushing yards, 12 rushing attempts. Seems a little high to me unless you paint like a game script narrative for that one.
That's probably my favorite.
Is the rushing attempts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you think, Chiefs are winning, Chiefs at home, Chiefs don't need to air it out kind of thing. They rely on the run game a little bit his second week back.
Yeah, there's like 3 good points that you just named there. 1, they have a really terrible passing game. 2, it's a second game back and you just got 14 rush attempts last week. 3, they're 5.5 point favorites at home. That seems like a really, really good projection to hit for a higher.
Yeah. And we don't have the official CEH out, but we imagine he's out. And if we do make that official, there's a non-zero chance that this bumps a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. And
Xavier Worthy 2.5 rushing yards. Wow, interesting. I mean, there's always the scare that he gets a little end around action there and then falls on his face behind the line of scrimmage. Like, there's always that fear, but maybe it's better to do it as a combo yardage, but that was interesting. Rashid Shaheed, 3.5 receptions. Wow, that sounds low.
I think one of the things you can do is do a groupie lower on field goals made.
Oh, baby. Okay, cool. Nez, the kicker whisperer. Here it is.
Either that or you can do it on extra points made. It pairs really well with this Kareem Hunt thesis that he's going to carry the ball a lot because they're up. And obviously if they're up, Saints aren't scoring as much. Okay. So I might prefer the extra points if we think that the Saints are just not going to have a good game.
Okay.
But I think field goals plays well too, just without the multiplier, because if they are trailing, they're probably not going to take field goals. They're probably going to need to be aggressive. But I do enjoy the extra multiplier on extra points.
Yeah, I kind of like both of your thought process there. I do think they score touchdowns tonight. Now that doesn't guarantee that the extra point gets home. Actually, I had a sick extra point sweat last night where they kept taking those penalties at the tail end of last game to dare them to go for 2. So I had the lower on what was the running back's name? The teacher, the Harvard kid.
Shamgod.
Yeah, so I had Shamgod lowers in like 5 of these things on the total yards of the 26.5.
Yeah.
And then I had them paired with lower than 2 extra points made for Aubrey.
Yeah.
And then I had it paired with another lower that got home. I can't remember what the lower was.
Was it the Zeke one? Did you?
Oh, it was the Zeke. It was the Zeke.
You had the same one as me, except we were on the other sides of Shamgod.
Yeah, and then I did it with Shamgod 3 different times with all Shamgod's things. And then we lost it on the very last extra pick.
God,
or else we
that was almost surgical.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, that was so gross. Yeah, Aaron said I had a sick extra point sweat as a new sentence.
Kicking the edge on the kicker pick'ems is just like it's the best thing going.
Well, and fantasy life, Matt Berry gets on my TV on NBC there when I'm flipping back and forth between the baseball game and the football, and he comes on my screen and he tells me Boswell 1.5. He's telling me Boswell 1.5 on the field goals, man. That's what he was telling me. So I did that one too.
That almost got home too.
Oh man, so good. All right, let's dial it back in. Let's add a third one to this one.
Yeah,
and call her a ball game here, Nez. I like the thesis on they're trailing. They're not settling for field goals. They're trying to score touchdowns. And it correlates with our previous pick'em where we have touchdowns in it there. I'm going lower on groupie on the field goals made.
Okay. I think that's a good one. I was looking at Olave.
Okay.
Everything seems very fairly projected here.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I was to take something here, I think it would maybe be receptions.
Okay.
It's 5-0 for receptions.
It goes with our
8-0.
trailing script narrative too.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I mean, Alvin Kamara's receptions at 5. What do you like better?
I think Kamara.
Okay, then let's do that.
Yeah.
Because that fits our narrative of trailing script, no field goals being made, Kareem Hunt's running the ball on the other side, 6x.
Mm-hmm. And Evan in the chat, I want to help you out with this. You know, car attempts works well with this play as well. I do agree that like trailing script car attempts do work, but I don't want to add it here. I will say, because I think it's a double-edged sword where, especially with the way that we're playing this, is like, yeah, they are going to have to throw the ball more, but they're so inefficient is kind of the bet that they don't even get the chance to attempt 31 and a half passes because Casey's controlling the clock and they can't even like get a chance to drop back enough times to make that many pass attempts is sort of like where my head's at. But I do agree with the thought process of like looking at opposing quarterbacks pass attempts when they are trailing in mind. Just wanted to throw that out for him.
No, that's a really good shout. Unfortunately, in this instance, it only adds 1.9x to us, so it's kind of like
that too for this instance. When you've got Kamara receptions, it definitely makes it hard.
All right, the kicker whisperer has spoken. We got the extra points in there. We got the Kareem Hunt rush attempts, and we got the Alvin Kamara receptions. Go ahead, post that one in there. We had to spice it up one, and then we had this one. Tyler asking, what do you think about the Matthew Boyd lower, not a U, L, please, for the 12.5 pitching outs?
I gotta be honest. It scares me.
It does scare me too, man. The weather is really good for pitching. It's cold. The wind's blowing in. It's lefty up and down that lineup, with the exception of like Ibanez and stuff. Yeah.
I would love for that to get home because I'm rooting for the Tigers, but it scares me, and I won't have it in a pick'em today.
Sounds good to me. I want to answer one more question here. I'm just gonna go ahead and look at something. We got 3 out of 4 baseball lineups right now. Okay, cool. Yeah, so no Jason Dominguez, which sure, I guess, but I probably wouldn't play Alex Verdugo in the 8-hole in lieu of him. Lefty versus Cole Reagans. I don't know why they are. I know he got on base 3 times last game, but like, man, Alex Verdugo
being an absolute meathead.
It was the thesis, man, when we were talking to Chris Baseball about it for the pennant stuff, where it was just like, dude, what are we doing here with Boone? He's actually a huge negative on the Yankees' chances to win.
It's just vibes. Dude, he's vibes, and he gets tossed out of games. That's what he brings to the table.
It's fucking nuts, dude. It's so bad. Austin Wells still hitting 4. There's some sick leverage because nobody was taking him because he didn't have a projection in the 4-mans. Wow. And it's lefty, but Austin Wells is in the lineup today, and John Birdie hitting 9th, playing third base.
Is Jazz in the lineup?
Jazz is in the lineup. Jazz is hitting 6th.
Where's he playing?
That I don't know. I'm looking at a site that lists 2 guys at third base right now. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe Jazz is in the outfield. No. Judge, Soto, Verdugo. Stanton's probably DHing. Jazz is probably playing third.
Sorry, I'm pulling
one of them's playing first base.
Birdie is.
Okay, Birdie's playing first base. So then Jazz is playing third still.
Yeah.
Royals lineup just dropped as well. Boone is there because he lets the analytic bros do the lineups. Interesting. Because this is not what I thought the analytic bros would come up with. So maybe I'm not that sharp. Wouldn't surprise anybody. All right, get your Mr. Good Boys in the chat. He's hanging out. He knows what time it is. I know what time it is. Nez, do you know what time it is?
Time for the DOG park.
It is time for the park, man. It is time for Mr. Good Boy to get a couple laps in. It is time for everybody's favorite time of the show, which actually I can't get to just yet because I got to say thank you to Best Ball Viper for making an appearance today. Lukey Big Shots and Drap did not take me up on it, but the offer still stands. If you guys want to do that, we could do a little segment on Wednesday. Please and thank you. I love meeting members of the community. I love having them on here to talk through their successes, and I love sharing and celebrating in their successes. Nez, any final words, parting words for the people for tonight?
Yeah, I'll see you in the lobbies, and best of luck on the baseball slate. Best of luck in the football slate tonight. And yeah, I will see you Wednesday.
Love it. Yeah, deep dive tomorrow behind the paywall. I might do it a little bit earlier because the baseball slate does start 1 hour earlier tomorrow than today, I believe. I think today is 2 p.m. Pacific, whatever. Who gives a shit? But I think I will be going a little bit earlier than our normal 2 p.m. Eastern time slot tomorrow, just to accommodate the baseball slate there and puck drop. So yeah, there's that. That'll be for the Membies. Keep an eyes peeled what time that's going to start at. Best of luck tonight. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.